One tiny victory while everything else was falling apart around me. The next morning, a woman who worked with kids came to help Oliver understand what was happening to his Nana. She brought dolls and sat on the floor with him, showing how Nana's body was very sick, and the machines were helping her breathe. Oliver watched her move the dolls around, and seemed to get that Nana couldn't wake up, but he kept asking if she'd be better tomorrow. The woman was patient, and kept explaining in simple words that sometimes bodies get too sick to get better. Oliver nodded, but I could see he didn't really understand, because he kept looking at the door waiting for Nana to walk in. That afternoon, I took Oliver to the cemetery where Marina was buried because it felt like Missy Nyla would want her to know what was happening. Oliver ran around picking dandelions while I sat by the headstone and told Marina that Missy Nyla might be coming to be with her soon. I explained how Miss Nyla saved us and became our family, and how I didn't know how to let her go even though I knew what she wanted. Oliver brought his handful of dandelions and put them on the stone, asking if Nana would play with this lady in heaven. I said yes through my tears and held him tight while he waved bye-bye to Marina's grave. Back at the hospital, Dr. Wong was waiting with his final report, and I knew from his face what he was going to say. He explained that keeping Miss Nyla on life support wasn't helping her, and went against everything she wrote in her papers about not wanting machines. He was gentle but clear that it was time to let her go peacefully without more suffering. The weight of his words pressed down on me like something physical crushing my chest. That evening, I sat alone in Miss Nyla's room and opened her letter again while Oliver played with his cars on the floor. Her handwriting blurred through my tears as I read her words about not wanting to linger on machines and trusting me to make the right choice. She wrote about how proud she was of the mother I'd become, and how lucky Oliver was to have me. She gave me permission to let her go and said she'd always be watching over us just like Marina watched over her. Every part of me wanted to keep her here even if it was just her body breathing with machines, but I knew that wasn't what she wanted. Dave came by the next morning with papers for the restraining order against my father and said the court date was set for next month. He explained that the Facebook posts and the HR complaint showed a pattern that judges took seriously. The legal protection felt like Miss Nyla was still fighting for us even from her hospital bed. That same afternoon, my father showed up at the hospital trying to get in, but security stopped him at the door thanks to Constance's earlier warning. He made a huge scene demanding to see his grandson and screaming about his rights while people stared. The guards walked him out and gave him an official paper saying he couldn't come back or he'd be arrested. I watched from a window upstairs feeling scared but also protected by all these people Ms. Nyla had put in place to help us. Betty took Oliver to the playroom while I went to one more counseling session to practice the breathing exercises for when I made the final decision. The counselor helped me understand that my grief about losing Miss Nyla was separate from my responsibility to honor what she wanted.